How are you? It's me, Lauren B. Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. It's Easter, y'all. Happy Easter. The Lord has risen. Very excited about it. It's a good day. I woke up today and I just felt like good in my spirit. So I figured it's a good day to do a live stream. Why not? Why not? I think a lot of people are taking off today for the local Easters, but ooh, ding. And I have every intention today of stuffing my face with ham and watching Harry Potter all day. But before I do that, I wanted to come on and do a little live stream for y'all, see what the weekly energy is gonna be for everyone. So we're gonna hang out for a minute and see if any of the bees roll in. I'm sure a lot of you guys are very busy today because it's Easter. Maybe you're going to church. Maybe you are collecting Easter eggs. Maybe you are making bread. Maybe you are sitting around in your sweatpants. I don't know. It's Sunday, y'all. So you do what you feel like you want to do today. That's what I'm going to tell you. I have a few decks. I'm going to shuffle up a few decks because I don't really know what I want to use today. For those of you that are new here, collective coffee is something that I typically do every Sunday, but I've been a little inconsistent, I'm not gonna lie, where we go through and we do the weekly energy for all of the signs, pull a few cards, we hang out, we catch up. It's a friends and family corner, you know, we do what we do, but we also kick it. So I have the Divine Feather Messenger deck, the bird deck, because I know a lot of you guys like the bird deck. We all love the bird deck. And then I have the Light Seers Tarot because I feel like it's like the most colorful deck that I have. So there's like a little bit of like an Easter feel to it, maybe. And then I have, I felt really drawn to pick this combination of a deck. It's the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. And it's also the Queen of the Moon Oracle, which normally I wouldn't use like a big combined deck like this for a collective coffee or an all sign stream, but they said get it. So I'm getting it. Butterfly. Transformation is beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm going to shuffle up these cards and give it a few minutes and see if anyone comes to join us today. I'm sure you guys are busy, but if you have a little time to spare, I'd love if you come and hung out with us. I'm trying to think if I have any updates. The rest of the monthly readings on the Patreon will be up very soon. Leo, your reading went up this morning. Pisces, I believe your reading comes out later this afternoon. I just there's so many birds outside today. I love it. I've seen so many different kinds. I've seen robins. It's not a canary, a finch. It's like, what's that little yellow bird? It's a finch, the state bird in New Jersey. You know I am from. Cardinals, we got blue jays. It is, oh wow, it is like an aviary sanctuary outside right now. It's really cool to see. It's really, really cool to see because they're divine messengers, right? So Spirit's talking today. It's really cool. Hi, Anastasia. How are you? Shuffle up this big deck. It's gonna take me a minute. But how are you guys? Are you guys having a good Easter or a good Sunday? I don't know what you celebrate. You might not celebrate Easter, and that's all right. I still hope you have a good Sunday. Oh, wow. It is just crazy. It is like bird happy hour out today. I love it. I love it so much. I felt like a Disney princess this morning. I woke up and it's like all the little birds are chirping. I felt like little birds were going to come and help me put my clothes on. It's really cute. It's really, really cute. Very sweet and kind of shout out earlier. It's been interesting. Oh, wow. Wow. The birds. Yeah, there's a lot of, the energy's been a little bit heavy the past few days, like collectively. I'm not going to lie about it, which is why it was so nice this morning to wake up with like such a freshness in my spirit. We have still been dealing with the kind of rollover energy from the full moon. So there is that. I mean, spiritually too, if you want to talk about it, the past few days were considered the days that Jesus had died, right? And was kind of laid in the tomb. So there's a bit of melancholy, kind of sad, like just heaviness over the past few days. And then today's the day that he's risen. Look, oh, beautiful, Faith. And so today's the day that he's risen. So there's like a freshness kind of in the air today. So sometimes we talk about like the full moons and the lunar and the solar cycles and stuff like that. But sometimes we also forget the spiritual as opposed to the celestial aspect to that as well. So I made that connection the other day about like the heaviness that was in the air. And then I woke up today and I was like, I feel good. Like, I feel like James Brown. I feel good today. And I was like, the Lord is risen. It's Easter. I love it. Avoiding negative vibes, but fine now. Yeah. That's all you gotta do. They pass. They come in waves and they pass, right? Okay, we'll give it another minute. I just posted a little shout out video. I don't know if anyone caught that who's watching this on the Pawn Day replay, which was really fun. We shouted out Rob, good old Rob, and Stephanie from Messages of Light and Love, and Dana from the Pink Peony Oracle, and Saint 2222, and Brooke from Empress of Duality, and Amanda from Anamkara Messages. So we got a cute little shout out video up this morning. So if any of you guys didn't check it out, by the time you watch this on the replay, you should go watch it because they are really amazing readers and energy workers, and I'm very proud to call them all friends. So, oh wow, I know, there's so many, I wish this window was bigger. You ever wish you had like a floor to ceiling window? I do, I wish I had a floor to ceiling window. So, I wonder who we're gonna do first. I have all the zodiacs in a cup right here. It also has some dirt in it because it used to have a plant. So we're gonna share. I can't wait to get some new plants. Spring is really springing right now. Someone get some new plants this week. Tomorrow, I don't know where you live, but I live in New Jersey and it's getting really nice. And tomorrow is gonna be like in the 60s. So, ooh, birds. I'm gonna spend the whole time doing this. Ooh, birds. So tomorrow I want to go on a little hike. And then I want to go get some plants. My goal. Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, I see you. You want to go first. I respect that. Okay, I'm with it. Ooh. Let's see. What deck do you want? I think you want this big old deck. We could do that, Capricorn. Okay, so I'm going to pull a bird card, and then I'm going to pull in your regular cards, Cap. Very good? Very good. So, anyone who's going to timestamp this after the fact, we're starting at about 8 minutes and 5 seconds for Capricorn. But let's start with a prayer, as we always do. Father God, thank you for bringing me and all the bees together on this very special Easter Sunday. We love you, we praise you. I ask for wisdom, clarity, and discernment to deliver all of these messages accurately in everyone's highest of love, light, alignment, and assignment. We praise you, we love you, we thank you always. We give you all the glory and the honor for these messages. The utmost high, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen, Jesus. So, all right, Capricorn, let's see what we got going on for you this week. All right, we'll take this one. All right, let's see. Hold, please, for production. Okay. Sometimes in an effort to try and work through our processes and do our shadow work, we can stay in the shadows a little bit too long. I've often been known to say that you actually can do a lot of your shadow work in the light, which seems kind of contradictory, but it's actually not, because you have the darkness and you have resistance in reverse. So this is you kind of giving yourself a break this week, Capricorn, and really allowing yourself to release the resistance and come back up for air, which is really, really beautiful, because sometimes working in these processes, it's almost like a dip. Like you need to kind of dip into the shadow, do some work, and then come back up, because otherwise you can kind of sink to the bottom and you can stay there for a long, long time. And in your weekly reading I had done, there's a little bit of that energy as well. Now, the next card that we have is the Sandpiper Spirit. Be playful. It's the idea that this week, Capricorn, you're done being melancholy. Like you're done being sad. You're done. You're taking a break from the shadow work. It's time to play. It's time to let the spring start springing in you. And the thing is that I love is in this card, this little sandpiper, he's like bipping and bopping around on these little lily pads. And lily pads for me always indicate timelines. And they also talk a lot about Piscean energy, and Pisces is the fish. And fish talk about flow and abundance and blessings and provision and all of that kind of stuff, that sometimes what works better than doing all this like really heavy like shadow extraction is actually just to like let yourself play and have a little fun and sit in that really kind of like silly inner child vibration, because that helps move the wheels. It helps move the wheels a little bit more. With the chameleon spirit, act as if. So regardless of what obstacles or things going on for you this week that may seem like they're against you, or they're blocking you, or they're prohibiting you, act as if they're not. Just act as if they're not. Just act as if everything's going completely to plan. Even if you feel a little silly, it's a little bit that like fake it till you make it. Even if you feel a little bit foolish, that's okay. That's okay, because sometimes faith looks foolish to a non-believer, right? And there's something in that. It's almost like play pretend, or like play dress up. It's like dress for the job that you want. Sit and feel like you already have the relationship that you want. Pretend like these mountains are just there just to try and seem like they're scary, but you really know that it's really nothing, right? Because there's nothing that God can't do for you this week. And I think about the chameleon spirit too, is that chameleons are able to change their coloring and their patterns depending on their environment. So there is something about being, again, adaptable, reachable, teachable, and flexible this week. That if something's not going your way, that's okay. Necessity is the mother of invention. So let's be adaptable and let's find a way kind of around that thing, through that thing. And so often we can do that through humor and through having fun and finding like that silver lining, in it. It almost brings in, because they're showing me back to the darkness, almost a little bit of that like dark humor, how comedians work through their own shadow work and work through things that have happened to them that might be painful or uncomfortable, and they do it through comedy. Right? There's something extremely healing about that. So maybe this week is a good week for you to actually like watch some comedy. If you've been watching like some heavy stuff, like watch some stand-ups or watch some movies that you used to love when you were a kid. White Owl, the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. And I think there's a lot about perspective. Taking things kind of with a grain of salt and remembering that perspective this week is really going to help you stay in this very playful, joyful energy, because an owl can pretty much turn its head almost 306 degrees. So this is getting a full picture, kind of zooming out from it and seeing the forest from the trees and be like, you know what, in the grand scheme of things, this really isn't that big of a deal. I'm going to laugh about this someday. It's upsetting me now, but I'm going to laugh about this someday. So I'm going to be adaptable. I'm going to change my colors a little bit, and I'm just going to play, right? If the energy feels really stuck one day and nothing's getting done, well, then that's the message for the day. So then go and play and do something else, right? If on Wednesday the energy feels really hospitable to you being productive, okay, well then seize the day on that day and allow yourself to kind of read the energetic room around you throughout the course of this weekend. I think it's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot, because there are plenty of days where I think today's the day, I'm going to get 1 million reads done, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to get that done, and I have to read the energy room, and turns out I'm not doing anything. I'm going to go for a walk, maybe paint my nails, have some pizza, right? And then there are days that I plan to sit around and have pizza and do nothing, and those are the days they're like, you're going to do 15 reads today. I'm like, okay, like you just have to read the energy room this week, and that kind of adaptability is going to allow you to have a little bit more balance and play this week, and you need some play. Fun. You need some fun. Stop it, it's Easter. This is Capricorn. All right, who are you? Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, I see you, Aquarius. Your weekly reading comes up tomorrow. You had a really interesting read. You had a really interesting read this week. Okay, they want the peacock. Sure. Did this come up? Huh. There's been a lot of peacock energy that's been circling around the collective. Hi, Violet Sky. How are you? You have inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. Watch it and ready yourself for a rebirth. Inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. Watch it and ready yourself for a rebirth. I love peacocks. Peacocks for me, Aquarius, talk a lot about that 9 of Pentacles energy. It's about your own personal value. And so often we get that through authentic expression, your individuality, right? Allowing your colors this week to be very vibrant, because inherent wisdom, you know what happens when you try to make yourself small. And you know what happens when you try and dull your shine a little bit, and that's not something that you need to do, right? It only sets you back. So allow a little bit of the spotlight to come on you this week. Allow yourself to be a little bit different, and not compromise it or try and dull your shine or do any of that, right? You know better. You know better. So allow your kind of freak flag to fly a little bit. This is all about individuality. And that's how you're going to have a rebirth, because you can't be rebirthed into someone else's form. It can only be rebirthed through your own originality. That's really important. I think you want this Light Seers Tarot, so I'm going to use this Light Seers Tarot for you. Yippee! I know, I love Aquarian energy so much. I've literally never met an Aquarius that I didn't like. Not a single one. How interesting. Look, we have the Hierophant and we have the Devil. 515. It's kind of, it reminds me a little bit of the Leo reading that went up this morning, Aquarius, when I was saying that there is meanness, there is bad aspects in everyone. We all have that lower vibrational shadow ego, but there's good in everyone too. And this week, it's about really making choices, right? Are we going to go back to old ways? We're going to go back to making ourselves small? Are we going to allow ourselves to be scapegoated or allow ourselves to be baited into acting in a way that doesn't really honor like the inner divinity that's inside of you, right? It's like, are you going to allow yourself to get kind of sucked back into the deep dark waters, or are you going to allow yourself to kind of ascend and arise this week, right? Authentically as yourself? And you know what, the journey to the light, it takes longer, because you have to take all of these steps individually. But this only leaves you kind of drowning. So it's the idea of there may be situations this week, again, that may require you to use your inherent wisdom. It feels like discernment is really important for you this week. There may be a few tests or twists and turns that come upon you that are going to ask you to decide which one of these energies you want to harness, right? And it's up to you. You're a sovereign being, but be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. Okay, this little stack just flew out. I see you. You have the Moon, the Two of Wands in reverse, and you have the Six of Swords, Aquarius. So it's the idea that there are paths opening up to you, but you might not be sure which one to take, because one of them, again, might seem like it's going to take longer. One of them might seem like it's a little bit lonelier, right? Especially if you are practicing this really intense level of individualism, because there are wolves, right? On the top of this Moon card, wolves run in pack. It's the idea of, I don't exactly maybe fit in a particular group. I don't exactly fit in a particular group. And if I don't fit in a particular group, then I don't have a lot of examples of how to navigate in this industry, in this field, in this path, in this walk. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's Aries season, right? It's Aries is the first house, the house of self-definition. You are going to be defining yourself in this period, but it feels like it's going to really begin heavily for you this week of developing your own blueprint. Not leading by other people's example, you being an example, you being the leader that you wish you had, you taking initiatives that maybe you haven't seen other people be able to take, because the Six of Swords indicates that there is a transition moving forward, right? But she does travel by boat, and so on boat, things can get a little choppy, right? There's breaks, there's waves, things can feel a little unsteady. It's not like you're walking on solid ground. But that's okay. And again, part of this discernment is, with all of this water, being able to navigate your emotional landscape and how that connects with your intuition. Being able to, again, use your inherent wisdom and go, you know what? This peacock talks about my individuality. You know, I know as an individual, these are the kind of things that trigger me. And I know that by giving into those triggers, I'm going to fall into this energy, right? But I know as an individual, I also have the ability to make a conscious choice to maintain faith, to maintain hope, to walk by faith and not by sight, to believe it before I see it, and choose this energy. And you might be surprised at the acceleration rate. It might seem like it's harder, it might seem like it's choppier, it may seem like it's a little bit more chaotic, but because I almost see these stairs becoming like an elevator now. You might be really surprised at how making a few very conscious but very good decisions this week really set you on a path for success. So that's very exciting for you. Hey, Amy. How you doing, girl? My little Amy. So let's see. Let's see who else is next. Let's see. Shake 'em up. Shake 'em up, baby, now. Twist and shout. What are you guys doing for Easter? Or for Sunday? Or for a day that ends in Y? Not everyone celebrates Easter, so I want to be mindful of that. Sagittarius. Cool. All right, Saggy. I got a little family dinner. I got a lot of Harry Potter to watch today because I'm on one of my Harry Potter binges, which are my favorites. I always hop between series. I'll do like the Hunger Games, and then I'll find like a Netflix show, and I did all the Hunger Games again, and then I started watching Good Girls on Netflix. I ran through all of that. I watched a few documentaries, a few movies. I went through like a Sandra Bullock phase. That was enjoyable, and I did a Julia Roberts phase. That was enjoyable, and now I'm back on Harry Potter. Let's see, what are you saying, Anastasia? It's just realizing how people play mind games and how I feel freer now that I know that this is a game. That the game is easier once you accept that that's the veil which covers the consciousness. Yeah, I mean, all the world, you don't have to shut up. You do not have to shut up. All the world's a stage. Sometimes people know not what they do or why they're doing what they're doing. I think it was, I don't know if you follow Rob's channel, Anastasia, but he did a Virgo reading that I watched this morning. I believe it's Don't Worry, You'll Come Out on Top, and he was talking a little bit of like that game, play your cards right kind of energy. So that might be a good reading. Yeah, that might be a good reading for you to watch if you didn't watch it yet, because some of there's similar themes in that. And part for me is that when we have these games that are presented in front of us, and there is an ability to play your cards right without getting you out of pocket, without you lessening your character or compromising your integrity. And so often the best way to do it is just to say less. Just don't tell people as much as like what you're doing. Move a little bit more in silence, because it allows you to conceal your hands and move more effectively without also feeling as though you are lying or you're playing a part or you're playing a character. Like there is that kind of fine line. There is that fine line. You're like, I just play my cards close to my chest, and I'm not lying, and I'm not compromising my integrity or my character. I'm just not saying much, right? And when you grow up with narcissists and all of that stuff, it's you become very compromising. You compromise before someone even brings you a situation to have to compromise to. It's almost like you pre-plan for the backlash, so you kind of move accordingly. And it's about having to break free from that. And that's very difficult, because I grew up in a very similar aspect, and I have been in a lot of relationships that have been that kind of dynamic. And it is something that has to be untrained in the mind and in the spirit, right? I know, these owls are amazing. A lot of owls have been coming up all week. A lot of owls have been coming up all week. A lot of eagles, too. I feel like these three cards just flew out, Anastasia, and I feel like they're probably for you. I will show them to you if you want me to show them to you. But if you don't want me to do that, then I won't do that. Yes? White eagle, the connection to the divine guidance is within you. Eagles talk a lot about justice, and part of the white color, it's a lot about transparency, right? Knowing that sooner or later, like, the scales always do get balanced for you, and you don't have to worry about other people recognizing that, because you'll be able to recognize it in your own life. And you just have to follow your intuition again. If other people are playing dirty, it doesn't mean that you have to play dirty. It just means that you have to be a little bit more strategic, and God loves to give his people strategy. And then you have this parrot card that just came out. Let go of others' thoughts and opinions. It's time to embrace who you really are. And something that's really symbolic about the parrot is that they're repeaters, right? They're mimickers. They mimic what other people say around them. So in what aspects may you or may you not be kind of mimicking narratives or mindsets or behaviors that you grew accustomed to being so deeply inside a certain family or social or romantic dynamics that now, even though you're out of them, you might still be replaying them out without potentially realizing it, even in ways that you talk to yourself, right? When you're used to people always criticizing you, you then become very self-aware and very self-critical. I've had to personally work through that a lot myself. Positive affirmations, even if you feel silly when you're saying them, they really do help. And then you have another eagle. You got two eagles. You got double justice. I don't know what your placements are, but it's a lot of Libra energy, which is justice, right? It's 11. 11's also talk about alignment. It also talks about portal energy. You are learning all aspects of spiritual connection and reaching new heights now. And that's beautiful. So again, it's almost a little bit like the Aquarius cards that I just had, that when these, even if it's not a person that you're having a conversation with, or even if it's not an experience that you're having, even if it's just a thought, right? There's a thought that I have that makes me feel a little bit like, and then there's a thought that I have that feels a little bit more like peace and surrender. Hold it. Hold them both between your hands, a little bit like Gemini. Hold them between your hands and decide which one's going to benefit you the most, right? I have to do that so often. I have to go, I feel angry right now, but I could also let it go. But like, so I sit there and I process it for a minute, and then I decide, okay, in 3 hours, how am I going to feel about the decision that I made? I'm like, well, in 3 hours, I'm going to feel like crap because I'm going to still be angry. Things still wouldn't have changed. So I'm going to choose the highest possible vibration, the highest possible perspective that I can, even if it's hard to maintain, and I'll talk myself through that. It's a process for all of us, girl. Life is a highway, as Rascal Flatts taught us. Good morning, Melissa. Happy Easter. Me extra today. you the Libra, and all your 222s. All your 222s. I think we're gonna use this for Sagittarius. Yeah. Damn dogs. I got 2 dogs in my house right now. Hey! Hey! I know, crazy. It's crazy. Yesterday I was running around beating my Tibetan singing bowl, trying to get them to calm down. Oh, I'm working. One day, I too am waiting on promises from the Lord, just along with everyone else. They often center around quiet and privacy. So let's see, Sagittarius. Let's see what's going on for you today. Oh, we got one. We got a flipper. Freedom is yours. It's in reverse, though. Are you feeling constricted? And it's 33. And 33 is a very auspicious, kind of good luck number. So I'm wondering if you feel like you're maybe going through a little bit of a bout of bad luck. You're feeling a little constricted. Take the lead. You have the stag spirit in reverse, too. So you might be having a hard time finding a sense of, like, autonomy. A sense of autonomy. And agency. The word agency is coming in. It's the idea of there are things around me that are constricting my mobility and my ability to have freedom. And I'm not seeing a lot of ways in which I could be the change I want to see in the world. Something that's interesting is the stag is, but these are both very masculine energies. We are in Aries season, so it's very masculine energy. The horse also talks about a lot of sexual energy as well. So some of this might have to do with, like, interpersonal relationships for you. Like, I don't see a lot of viable options around me. So even if I wanted to get back out there, like, I don't really see that happening. But there also might be a blockage in your root chakra. A blockage in your root chakra right now. Sometimes when we expand our crown a lot without actually rooting it down, we can feel almost like our head is, like, exploding. And there's just too many thoughts and there's just too much going down. So I would ground your energy this week if you can. Go outside, take a walk, maybe some spiritual salt baths, try some root vegetables, things like that. That might really help you as well, because sometimes there are actually avenues available to us to engage in more of a sense of agency, be a little bit more of the catalyst in the solution to our own problems. But sometimes we can't see them because we're feeling a little bit clouded. And as I say that, I feel like a heaviness, like right here over my third eye. So that might be something as well. That's interesting. Because they're pointing me out to the Light Seers deck right now. Three of Wands and the King of Pentacles at the top of that. See, it's like looking over the horizon. I noticed that she is outside and she doesn't have a lot of stuff. It doesn't like she doesn't have like a lot of baggage, right? And she just has a surfboard. It's like waiting for the waves that come in to kind of catch the wave. And the the King of Pentacles, that's interesting. The King of Pentacles is a very dependable and it's a very reliable energy. It's the idea of not wanting to catch any kind of wave, whatever that means for you, opportunity, business, relationship. There doesn't seem like it's going to be dependent or consistent or anything like that. But there is this energy of you won't know if it's going to be until you get on the wave and you'll ride it. And even if it doesn't take you necessarily as far as you want to go, it will take you farther than where you are right now. There is something about that. Yeah. Interesting, because you have the Ace of Cups and you have the King of Cups in reverse too. So there's something about feeling as though if you open yourself up like emotionally, again, needing to root things down a little bit, because it feels like there's too many thoughts, there's too many emotions, there's like too much stuff kind of floating around you right now. So you're having a hard time making a decision. You feel a little bit emotionally closed down. Which is why you really want to lean a little bit more on this like practicality. If this wave isn't going to take me the whole way, but sometimes you got to take a little wave and then you got to take another little wave and then you got to take another little wave, right? Because Seven of Pentacles, there's already a big investment that you've made. There's already a big investment that you've made in yourself, in your faith, in trying to move yourself forward. But there is a sense of frustration that you feel a little bit blocked off from it. And what sticks out to me so interestingly is there is this Queen of Cups energy, which is, again, total open heart chakra, like very emotionally aware, emotionally nurturing, emotionally open. And it's interesting because you want this kind of wave to come and meet you with an opportunity or a breakthrough or something like that. And in this moment of surrender, the cup actually comes to you. The wave actually does come to you, but what sticks out is that she's actually in the water. You have to get in the water this week for the wave to hit you. Because it's the idea of, even if the wave came in, you're on a little bit of this higher plank right here, right? It's like you're not even really on the beach. Like the wave can't even hit your feet. You're still too far away from the water. You have to get closer to the emotional aspects of you and actually get in. When you do, what you need it will flow right to you, but you have to be brave enough to actually get in there, right? A part of this stuck and stagnant energy is because it feels like you're a little stagnant. You're a little stuck. It's a little bit of that analysis, too many thoughts, paralysis, and you need to make it closer to the water's edge. So even if that wave does come, it's close enough to actually touch you, right? And it touches your feet, and your feet is where you ground, right? So doing some grounding activities this week was actually, I feel like it's going to help you open up a little bit more of your heart space too, because perspectives keeps coming in a lot. It's gonna help you get a little bit more perspective and make you feel a little bit braver this week, I think. Catching the wave, waiting for it, double dutch. When I was little, I went to this very big and prestigious Catholic school, and they had a double dutch team, and I was quite the double dutcher, let me tell you. Hey, Chili Bean. Let's see, Saggy. Okay, Crane, you will soon enter into a beneficial partnership. Luck and longevity bless this union, which is exactly what you wanted, right? But it's like, they're playing me that Black Eyed Peas song. Can you meet me halfway? Right at the borderline is all that I can. Right? It's like you got to get in the water, and once you do, what you really want meets you. And then Canary, step forward now, Saggy, and sing your song. There is power in finding your voice. That's beautiful. That's really funny. Today feels like my rebirth. Heck yes. I know you've had quite the go of it over the last couple years, Missy, but you're coming back around now. You're coming back around the bend. Tomorrow the meeting's open again. We will bump into each other if I go back. He lives down the street. Hey. Okay, well, 2 just flew out, so I'm going to take this one. Virgo. We were just talking about you, Virgo. They heard us. The Virgos heard us. Feeling so much. life right now. Is it? I love that. I have a cousin. Her name's Melissa too. We call her Missy. Little sweetie pie. Reminds me of that song, Sweet Melissa. So let's see. Let's shuffle a little bit for you, Virgo, Sagittarius, you're done. You cut off. You got to go. I am seeing this pleasure card. There's something about boundaries and overindulgence, Virgo, because I just split this deck, and on one side there's pleasure, and on the other side there's wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. So there is something about a fine line. It's almost the idea of make sure that it's a rabbit hole you're going down, and not like some kind of like ditch, if that makes any sense. Because and you know, it's when we talk about death and rebirth, right? You can't have a rebirth unless it's first preceded by death, which whether it's literal or whether it's symbolic or spiritual or emotional is a very painful process. So there's something this week about really examining, Virgo, the contrast between your experiences and how going through situations that may be painful or uncomfortable, that it actually makes the moments in your life that are pleasurable that much sweeter, right? Because sometimes we tend to harp on the bad things that have happened to us and really let it bring us down, forgetting that if everything was up here all of the time, we wouldn't appreciate it so much, right? Because that would become like the normal, that in order to really appreciate the highs, sometimes we have to have the pendulum swing down to a little bit of a low, right? To have that love that is so sweet and it is so simpatico, right? You can't really appreciate that unless you've gotten kind of stung by a few bad loves, right? Unless you've had a few failures, the sweet taste of success isn't quite as rich and vibrant, if that makes any sense. Because that seems to really be, again, this is part of the perspective. Like the name of the game this week for the collective is changing these perspectives a little bit, and seeing what these situations did for you as opposed to did to you this week. And it doesn't feel like necessarily there's a lot coming at you or happening. It's about kind of taking a little bit of stock of what has transpired for you and how you've learned and you've grown, and how you can still appreciate experiences in your life, even if they didn't turn out the way you maybe necessarily wanted them. Because look, on the split again, you have porcupine spirit, time for a beginner mind, and then peace. And again, there is something about boundaries a little bit as well, that just because sometimes things have happened to us that have hurt us, it doesn't mean that we can kind of absorb that hurt and then project it outwardly for the sake of calling it a boundary when it's really a defense mechanism. I think that that's something that's important to you to kind of mull over this week, is again, one, remembering that without kind of tasting some of these lows, that the victories aren't really as sweet. And at the same time, making sure that any boundaries or standards that you have are truly out of a place of self-love and self-value and self-worth, and not actually a defense mechanism that you're operating in because of unresolved trauma or pain that you might still be harboring resentment over, if that makes any sense. Yes. Hi, Lucy. What is that down there? Hi, Lucy. Well, thanks for stopping by. We love you. The name Lucy's been popping up for me a lot this week too, and I believe it means like dawn, or like the brightness of God or something like that, which is really nice. It means like brightness, finding my balance. Know why the boundary is going up. Yeah. Is it out of self-love or is it out of like defensiveness? Because sometimes we do that. Dove, look at that, Virgo. Feel and allow a deeper sense of peace to fill you now. This is a divine quality. And then you have the hawk. Pay attention. Pay attention to me. A powerful message is being communicated to you now, right? Peace is priceless. Peace is priceless. And sometimes we make decisions or we do things in the name of preserving our peace, but what it really does is preserve our pain and our ability to hold on to resentment sometimes. Sometimes the most peaceful thing that you can do is accept an apology, right? They're just coming through for someone, so it's interesting. It's very interesting, Virgo. But again, so there feels like there's gonna be a little, and you know, you're Virgo, so you're really detail oriented. There is a little bit of that going through the details, going through the motives behind the actions for you this week, behind the perspectives, and I think it's really gonna set you up in like a really beautiful way, especially coming up to the new moon, that new moon. Two doves were eating in my backyard. Were they? Oh, that's lovely. I've seen quite a few doves in the back as well. They've been mourning doves though. Instead of like regular doves, they're mourning doves. Leo, the water signs are hiding from us. You notice that? The water signs are hiding from us. I see you, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. You can't hide from me. Not for long. What's this? Oh, look at this. Leo, world in reverse. Does something not feel complete to you? I see the 10 of Cups, too. Eluding. Something seems to be eluding you. There's like, something you... Okay, I'll take this too because it keeps popping out. Something that seems like you can't quite figure out, like, what it is. You can't quite figure out what it is. Okay, I'll take this too. So you have the world in reverse with the 10 of Cups, right? So there's some kind of... something that's incomplete that feels like it's preventing you perhaps from reaching complete emotional fulfillment, because the 10 of Cups is lovers, but it's also friends, it's family, it's community, it's feeling emotionally fulfilled in what you're doing. There's something that's missing from it, and the 9 of Pentacles is in reverse, so there is something about consistency and stability. It's the idea like the elevator business, like things come in and then things go out. Things come in and then things go out. I think part of the trick for you is when something comes in that you feel might be the right opportunity or the right person or the whatever, the right Alice, right? And even if it leaves, to hold on to that vibration, because there is this sense that things might be coming in to kind of get you in that vibration, so that way, if and when they leave, you know what that vibration feels like, and you can attain it as an individual, regardless of things kind of come and go. And this also comes down to self-value and self-worth as well, that I deserve to feel like I'm in a lovey-dovey mood. I deserve to feel that feeling of love and fulfillment and contentment. There's something about contentment too, even if someone's here and even if someone's not. Even if I have the success right now or even if I don't, it's like still feeling abundant, still harnessing that Empress energy. Even if in the natural it doesn't appear. So if you feel like things are coming in and then they're kind of being taken away or sliding out the back door, it's because they want to remind you of what that feeling feels like, right? Like the butterflies and the hope and the excitement. So that way you can more readily as an individual go back and find it. So when you fall out of it, you can go, oh, I'm sitting down here, but I'd rather sit up here. Even if the person, the opportunity, the job, the promotion, even if it's not here right now, I know what it feels like. So I'm gonna feel it, so that way I can see it, right? Because things are established in the spirit before they are in the natural. Because you also have the Fool card, and it came out on its side. And for those of you that have been with me for a while, you'll know that when cards come out on their side, it talks for me about a little bit of free will. So this is you having to make a conscious decision to sit in faith. I have faith that if I sit in this vibration and I keep my head up and I keep trucking along, what I need will come to meet me as it needs to, right? And because it's on its side, there's also this idea of like, what is the line between faith and foolishness? There really isn't a line, because again, faith can look foolish to a non-believer, and your faith can also look foolish a little bit to the rational part of your mind, right? But there's something about reworking our critical thinking, that faith isn't... it needs to be part of critical thinking. Faith needs to be part of critical thinking, that having faith is actually the most logical thing that you can do, right? Think of it like a musician who has been trying to make it for forever, right? Logically, maybe they're not booking gigs. Maybe it's taken a long time. Maybe they've been at it for years, but after a million no's, they still know logically, you know, all I need is one yes. All I need is just one yes. And so I'm going to keep trucking along until I get my yes. Peacock, again. Inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. Watch it and ready yourself for a rebirth. Again, we plant these seeds, but faith is a fertilizer. You have to put a little faith on that thing. It is miracle grow, right? Without faith, nothing is accomplished. Faith in God, faith in yourself, faith that things will always work out. The whole kit and the whole caboodle. Feeling alive no matter the outside of me. Yeah, absolutely. The external does not define the internal. The internal, as a matter of fact, defines the external. Amy, guess we need to say that I'm going to feel it to believe it. You have to believe it to receive it. Aries, the water signs are avoiding us. They're avoiding us. That's all right. I'm going to be like Shania Twain, water signs. I'm going to get you good. You just wait and see. You just wait and see. Look, now your cards I want to shuffle. Happy birthday to all the Aries. To all my Aries people. You guys that are going to catch this on the replay, you're going to pawn the replay later. Because I know everyone's busy. Everyone's really busy on Easter. So maybe some of you guys will catch this later tonight. Again, if any of the bees are so kind and gracious to timestamp this later, for those who are watching on the replay, we would very much appreciate you. Interesting. So you have wisdom in reverse. First and foremost, card number 22, which is a master number. There's something about, there were a lot of things I think that you had thought you had figured out, or lessons that you had mastered, but there could have been things recently that kind of contradicted that information. So it's the idea of, oh, I guess I'm not as smart as I thought I was. I guess I didn't have that figured out as much as I thought I did. Like, I thought, and some of this has to do with some of you guys concocted narratives in your mind about why things happened, and there could have been some evidence that came about that contradicted that. Oh, I know why that person did that. And then turns out, like, no, you didn't. It was like a totally different reason. There's also something about thinking that there were more nefarious, malicious things going on around you about why things weren't working out. So there's something about that. And I mentioned this in one of the readings, that sometimes we can see obstacles and delays, and we can see it sometimes as like the work of the enemy, or low vibrational energies, or people sending us bad juju, or all of that kind of stuff. Misinterpreting it, not realizing that the delays were actually put in place by the divine to get you to slow down, get you to recalibrate, get you to rest, change the narrative. It wasn't the time, right? They didn't want you running past your mark. So there is some discernment coming in about that as well. And I did say that April was really a month of surprises, that God was moving in really unusual ways that a lot of us haven't seen him move in our individual lives before. And so we might be misinterpreting some of the things that have been happening as interfering energies, when it was really God kind of stepping in and kind of molding us on a bit of a potter's wheel. There is something about that. I love you too, Amy. I hope you have a wonderful day. And then 44, you have two master numbers, right? Enhanced, 22, and then 44, Panther Spirit. Reclaim your power. And it's the power to choose again this week. It's the power to change the narrative. It's the power to know that, like, you can always learn more. Your perspectives can change. Your attitudes can change. And that sometimes when we take our power back, it's not even from other people. Right? We always feel like we have to take our power back from other people. But sometimes we have to take our power back from the lower vibrational parts of ourselves that always want to expect the worst. That always want to expect the worst out of other people. Expect the worst out of God. Like, expect the worst out of the universe, right? There is something about that. Death and rebirth. You have the death card in reverse, which indicates some kind of finality. It's almost the idea of allowing yourself to kind of learn on site, learn as you go, and not walk into situations with preconceived notions about how they're going to go or what the energy is, right? Because energy fluctuates and changes all the time, right? You can meet someone and be like, oh, I know what's going on with them. And then a half hour later after conversation, you go, oh, you know, I didn't realize immediately that there were all these other layers going on that affects why that person does that or says that or acts that way, right? And now I have more compassion and more forgiveness for them. It's like that kind of energy. It's like the end of assumption, the end of the era of assumption for you, Aries, with the Hierophant in reverse, which the Hierophant talks about organizations and institutions and hierarchies and that kind of thing. So again, it's the idea of how do I put this? Hold on. It's this sense of a pecking order. Well, something much more sassy came to my mind, but I'm going to use the word pecking order. Not allowing yourself to be in a pecking order with other people anymore, right? Keeping track of their karma, or assuming that they're ahead of you, or that you're behind them, or that you're ahead of them, or it's not doing that anymore. Because there might be some actions that you've been, or behaviors you've been exhibiting, assuming where other people were, or what they were doing, or why they were doing it, and you trying to kind of move accordingly. It's almost like kind of going back to your own lane, going back to the end of assumptions, and then going back to your own lane this week, and not looking at other people's gardens so much, so that way you can focus on your own, more effectively. Because when you are too busy looking at other people's gardens, you can't tell if there are weeds popping up in yours, right? Libra. Okay, Libra. The water signs do not want to go for some reason. I wonder why that is. Avoiding reality? Huh. It's very interesting. All right, Libra, I'm going to give you a bird card. Do you feel like you need a little bird card action? Oh, it's a nuthatch. Stay grounded and welcome the new knowledge and perspective coming to you. Stay grounded and welcome the new knowledge and perspective coming to you. There is this sense that there might be some information or some downloads or revelations you may get this week that contradict a previous perspective that you had on something, and to submit to the revelation and not fight against it. Yeah, and again, staying grounded, staying humble, staying kind of humble this week, I think is going to help you. And again, there is a general energy of like everyone grounding, going out. It's spring, it's nice. Like if you can go outside, maybe do some gardening, go some planting, go for a walk, like eat root vegetables again, like do stuff like that may help you. Keep trying to open up your windows. Somebody needs to open up their windows. Yep, absolutely, Melissa. There was a video that I was watching last night, and it was long. It was like a 45-minute video, and it was like halfway through, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't want to listen to this right now, and I had scrolled up on YouTube, and then another video popped up that was like, stop struggling, like submit to the word. And I was like, oh shit, all right. Like obviously I need to finish this video, because even though I don't like what I'm hearing, I obviously need to hear this. So there is something about not avoiding, and I just said something about not avoiding reality, not avoiding messages that you actually need to hear just because they may contradict a perspective or a narrative that you've had for a long time, right? You do have the Lovers coming out. It is a card of Gemini, so your fellow air buddy, but it's a card of choice, right? The idea of choosing to live in love and harmony and togetherness. It's like very anti-separation for you, anti-separation, because part of this narrative that you had is that you could have felt as though you kind of had to be like high up on a mountain all by yourself, so other people and their energy couldn't touch you. But part of this grounded, they're actually showing me you like coming back on like ground level with everyone else, not feeling so kind of elevated and separated, and instead kind of rejoining in togetherness and unity with other people, that you don't have to go it alone. Yeah, Six of Swords, it's like stop running away from connection and togetherness. There are seasons where God separates us and puts us on our own, but there is this sense that we're not supposed to live like that forever, right? That sooner or later we're supposed to. That's why people have tribes. That's why communities exist, because we thrive better together than we do on our own. That's how families got invented, right? Oh, look at that bird! Wow. And so there is something about that. It's this togetherness kind of thing. Don't resist the togetherness. Stop trying to transition to new places all by yourself, because there is this sense that she'd be able to get through on this boat if there were other people in there that she allowed them to help her with. Empress, yeah, it's all about receive help. And you know, this little moon and all these little, feels like little downloads kind of in your ear. So you might be getting little intuitive hits like, maybe I should call that person, or maybe I should respond to them, or maybe I should go over here, or maybe I should go to that that party, or go to the park because I know other people are going to the park. Like, whatever it is, like, don't resist against that just for the sake of kind of being by yourself. Don't resist that just for the sake of kind of being by yourself because you're afraid of the impact that other people are going to have on your energy, right? It's like you have energetic sovereignty. Even the most empathetic people, you need to be able to be in society and be with other people and kind of keep your energy grounded and centered at the same time. You can't be a total hermit forever. And then the moon card in reverse. So it's like, you do know, look, and the Two of Wands. So it's like, it is very clear that you're lonely up here, right? She's like in this room. She's got a map. She's got this world. She's got this path that she can take, but she's just not taking it because there seems to be more safety in solitude. And that is true up into a certain extent and for a certain amount of seasons. But sooner or later, again, you need to come back down on ground level and actually get on the bus, get on the school bus with everyone else, right? There's a difference between being alone and being lonely, but there is a collective energy of people keeping themselves lonely for too long. That now is the time for unity and togetherness, right? That's so funny, Melissa. You know what they're playing me in my head as soon as I read, but I love my home. They started playing me that Sam Hunt song, House Party. If you want to be a homebody, then we're gonna have a house party. It's like a little bit, maybe that's like a good, like warming up process for you. Maybe, you know, have some people come over to your house or have like a gardening party, or let's have some cocktails, or let's have some lemonade and let's plant some pots to put plants in, or you know what I mean? Or have someone over for dinner, or I don't know, sit on your front porch. Even something simple like sitting outside your house, like sitting in your backyard or your front porch. So at least you could see people passing and like wave at them. Like, that might be a good way to just like slowly ease into it a little bit without like overwhelming yourself, right? Opening it up to the, you know, maybe it's getting nice out spring. Maybe there's some like garage sales. You don't have to buy anything, but go like walk around. Sometimes just walking around like a grocery store, or garage sale, or just something like that, and just being like, hey, how are you? Like, just little things like that kind of just have to like warm you up to the process. And I get that because I spend a lot of my time alone, right? I work from home. I'm single. Like, I'm alone all the time. I'm not usually that lonely. I have bouts of loneliness. I have bouts of them. But overall, like, I've always been a little bit of like a loner, but I also know that when I go and I spend time with people, like, it's exciting for me. I like it. I'm like, I like it. Like, and then, you know, once I realize that I kind of hit my limit on peopling, then I come back and I decompress and I do my own thing, and I'm probably good for like another week and a half. But then I gotta try and go, again, integrate back into society. Kind of build up the resilience. I was going to open my house today. My last event was Easter for people in recovery. People know where to go. Yeah, that's beautiful. Maybe I should just open my door. Just let a little fresh air in or something. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I totally get it. Because it's more comfortable. It's more comfortable, and when you create your own little bubble in your own little world, it's more comfortable and safe to stay in there, right? Because you don't want to come in and like burst your bubble. But it's important to know that you always have that safe space to come back to. Right? Like, you can always come back into your little bubble when you want. You can always close the door. You can always turn off your phone. But there aren't always opportunities for you to go out and meet people and hang out with people, you know, people's schedule, the weather, whatever it may be. So to try and take advantage of those opportunities when they do present themselves to you, because you can always return back to your safe space, your happy little bubble when you need to. I have a whole ham and lots of cookies and lots of room. Girl, you better start handing out some ham to these people. That's what I said, but I'm pro ham. Well, you could go out, or you could stay in and open up the door. You could do whatever's the most comfortable for you, you know? They're giving me like, water sign, finally, like Halloween. Like, sometimes people have, like, big Halloween parties, and they have a whole bunch of people come to their house, and they do the whole thing. But some people, they don't let people into their house. They just sit on their front porch with, like, a coffee or a cocktail, and they just hand out candy, right? They just put themselves in a position where they are visible and available for interaction, if that makes any sense, right? They're not letting people past a level that they feel comfortable with, but they're at least putting themselves out there, available and visible enough that people who do pass by, they know that it's okay to kind of come in and get some get some candy, and then continue on their ways. Again, very kind of a warming up process. Hi, Everlong. How are you? Yeah, no stress, girl. Oh, that's the wrong finger. Put your thing down, flip it and reverse it. I knew Easter's a busy day for everyone, so I figured I wanted to kind of get this done early, even if there weren't a lot of people in the live chat, so that way people could watch it afterwards, when they were done with their dinners. Pisces are up next. Hi, Lily Lou. How are you? Anyone keeping track of what sign she's on? Honestly, we have not been keeping track of what signs I've done, and I've been pulling them at random. So let me. We started with I'll try and check for you right now. We started with Capricorn, and then we did Aquarius, and then we did Sagittarius. I believe we did the fire signs. Hello. Yeah, here we go. We did Sagittarius, and then we did Virgo, and then we did Leo, and then we did Libra, and then we did Aries. I don't know. Those are the signs I did. I don't remember the exact order. I lost track of the order kind of halfway through. But now we're going to do Pisces. We finally got the water sign. So I'm going to do Pisces now. And then I have Scorpio, Taurus, Cancer, and Gemini left. All the fire signs are done. I have Taurus left in the earth signs. We're doing Pisces now. We still have Cancer and Scorpio. The water signs are trying to avoid it. And then Gemini. It's like, oh, where am I? I was captain of my cheerleading squad, girl. I got you. I don't think Virgo was too far behind. Maybe like 20 minutes ago. Maybe Virgo was like 20 minutes ago. I think it was like the fourth. I think it was the fourth sign I did. It came after Sagittarius. I do believe. So Pisces. Let's do a bird card for you, Pisces. Drill team, fun. I did dance. I did cheerleading. I did like gymnastics. I was never really like a classic sport kind of girl. I was very much picked last for gym class. Not a great runner. But I did like double dutch. I did like piano. Did like modeling and acting classes. I liked to sing. Very creative kid. Rough. White Eagle. I'm telling you, these eagles are coming out like hotcakes this week. Pisces, the connection to divine guidance is within you. I'm hearing you know what you know. You know what you know. You might have some kind of information that you're trying to deny or think yourself out of. Like there's some kind of answer that you already have that you're thinking yourself out of, it feels like. You already know what you know. Stop trying to pretend like you don't know it. That's kind of how it's coming through. The Osprey. Your success is now at hand. Allow the abundance to flow to you effortlessly. Do you know what this is like? It feels like, Pisces, that there's a situation, maybe there's a person, or there's the general energy that like you are in a new season, but there's almost your natural vibration is feeling, and your weekly reading comes out at, I think like 3:30 today, and I titled it Immune to Disappointment. But there have been some disappointments, and I think that because that's almost been like your normal resting place is to be disappointed or a little let down or things not going your way, that even though intuitively, again, you know what you know, spiritually you feel like there's new things coming, there's almost because your normal resting place is a little bit of like, I don't really believe it, it's not really happening, I'm so used to being disappointed, that it's like, stop thinking yourself out of your blessing, stop thinking yourself out of being in a new season, right? Don't go, you need to elevate your new normal like resting vibration, if that makes any sense. Your success is now at hand. Allow the abundance to flow to you effortlessly. Like it's already here, it's already coming. So it's like, don't just assume that it's not, even though it's like you know what you know. You know that it is. You're being Bluebird, you are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace. Happiness and peace. Look, and it's 9 people are watching and there's 11 likes on the videos. 911, right? It's like an emergency. It's like Pisces. Stop it. Don't delay yourself. Actually, I'm going to use this other deck. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. It's also, it changed now. It was 9 people and 11 likes. 911, that emergency kind of, and these are, you're good. I see you. I see you. 911 is often a number or an angel number for me that indicates Archangel Michael. 1212 now on the thing. And I just realized these cards they're both blue decks. And blue also indicates a lot of Archangel Michael. So giving you like the strength, the strength. Antelope spirit, life is speeding up. What did I say? Life is speeding up. And two talk about balance. Balance, you might have been at such like a stagnation for so long that you're actually unconsciously resisting the new coming in a little bit because you're like, oh, I'm gotten so accustomed to things kind of going like steady as she goes, like just a little bit here, just a little bit there, that you might actually unconsciously be telling yourself that new things aren't coming in because you're afraid of not being able to keep up with the momentum or the pace or the requirement, right, of like your time and your energy, of all that kind of stuff. Aquaman, hey! What angel is 912 or 913? I don't know. I don't have a lot of angel number associations with the arcs. 911 is definitely Michael for me. 913. 1013. I don't know. Cat spirit, claim your independence. 13. 913. That's so funny. You just said that. See, look, now the 13 came out. I see you. I know. I caught a couple little Orby orbs. I just came because my ex is Michael. God. That happens. Sometimes I'll like see a name and the next thing you know, that person will pop up on like my Hinge or one of my dating apps to be like, oh God, it's a test. But claim your independence. 13. And this is also your intuition. Part of this independence, it doesn't fit from people or situations. It's the idea of claim your independence from the old vibration, the old perspective that you had that things weren't going to get better. Because it's the idea that you were saying it, things are going to get better, things are going to be fine, but like not really like planting that seed in your heart, not really expecting it, saying it without expecting it, praying it without expecting it, right? And needing to claim your independence from that, right? And you know what they're bringing in, which is interesting, that cats have 9 lives. That cats have 9 lives. That it's like, you know that you're not on your last life. Like, you know that you still got more fight in you. Like, you know better days are ahead. You know things are speeding up. And cats also move really quickly. And if you're feeling some kind of fear that you're not going to be able to keep up with the demands for your time or your attention or your energy with business picking up or relationships picking up or any of that stuff, just remember that you can get down with the best of them, right? You really can. And so to not unconsciously try and self-sabotage your way, because Pisces are the most self-sabotagey sign in the whole entire zodiac, and I know that because I'm a Pisces. So don't try and self-sabotage yourself to only to keep yourself at a lesser level of productivity. When there's abundance and there's love and there's peace and there's all this really good stuff that wants to come in for you. Trust in divine detours, right? Things that, again, we were talking about it a little bit. I think it was Virgo that sometimes we hold on to negative situations that happen for us as an excuse for why better things can't happen to us, and needing to release ourselves from that. That part of the reason we go through challenges or we go through heartbreaks or we go through obstacles is that so when we do have a breakthrough or when the right person does come in or things are on an upward swing, there's a richness, there's a vibrancy, there's it's extra sweet, those situations, right? Without a little bit of the sour, we wouldn't really be able to appreciate the sweetness of new things coming in, right? And so to keep that in kind of your mind's eye this week as well. Wow, these birds are they're just really birding. Where are you? There's so many. It's so many. It's bananas. They're just flying all over the place today. Oh, wow. It's a butterfly. Holy shit. It's a great day. The Lord has risen. Wow, it's a butterfly. It was a yellow butterfly. Ow, my back hurts. Wow. there's so many blessings today. It's just hurting my body. Wow, I can't handle the weight of the magic today. It's just phenomenal. Holy smokes. I'm such a child. I'm such a child. Oh my goodness. I'm 30 years old. You'd think I was 3. I'm like, it's a butterfly. Wow. See? It's amazing. But they fly so fast. I can't tell what they are. Can you fly them in a slower motion? Because they're going by so fast that I can't quite discern what kind of birds they are. I think that's a no, but if it's possible. Or can you land them like further out in the yard so I can see them? Because they're flying right underneath the windowsill, and wow, they're really not slowing down. All right, Spirit is quick today. The Spirit's your grandma. That's so nice. That's so nice. I love that. That's so nice. I was on a hike, I don't know, like a week or two ago. And I was gonna go in one direction, and then I looked in the other path, and there was a butterfly, and I was like, I'm gonna follow it. And I followed the butterfly all the way to like something like really kind of special. Oh, I should pick another sign. You gotta find. It's kind of like the I always think about the wishing tree video that I did back in the summer, that sometimes you know, why do I have to turn here? Why do I have to go do that? Why do I have to? And then you happen upon the place or the situation, the person, you go, oh, that's why, because there's fucking magic over here. I'm so glad I listened. Scorpio. Now the water signs want to come out. Is that a banana? You sent me a dove, a banana, and a butterfly. I understand the dove and I understand the butterfly. Now, you've got me on the banana. I wonder what the banana's about. It's very curious. It's very curious. All right, Scorpio. Let's see. I'm going to use this big deck for you. Let's pull a bird card. Oh, wow. It's like so... I almost want to get like a butterfly net and be like... Go blow some bubbles or something. Really connecting with my inner child today, I guess. Maybe it's because I got a new shirt. Maybe it's because I got a new shirt. We always love new shirt days. Can we talk about my shirt, though, for a second? How cute is this shirt? It's adorable, right? It's super adorable. I got it at the thrift store for 10 whole doll hairs. I paid actual doll hairs for it. They wanted dollars, but I just gave them doll hairs. So. I love the thrift shop. Isn't that a Macklemore song? Thrift shop? I'm like a little kid. I'm like, look at my shirt. Oh, it's a finch. That's what I saw earlier, a little yellow finch, state bird in New Jersey. New opportunities and choices are opening to you, Scorpio. Claim them now. New opportunities and choices are opening to you now. Claim them. Claim them. I just literally heard you say, but I don't see any, because they're opening. The door's not, they're just starting to, like, stop it. Stubborn ass Scorpios. I'm hearing like the eagle again. Wow. We're really just eagling today. Lost that train of thought now. You are learning all aspects of spiritual connection and reaching new heights. Part of these new opportunities and choices are going to be things that are going to allow you to elevate into new, a higher level of spiritual truths. Yes. Okay. All right. You have protection and you have the brown bear spirit. Take time out. Take time out. It feels like this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to continue to kind of sit a little bit on the bench as a way of kind of protecting yourself. And there is something about remembering to return back to your own energy to recharge your batteries, right? But to not slow down movement when the energy around you is hospitable to you kind of making strides, to not choose those times to sit out. Kind of like the sign that we were just doing before, that you can always return back to your safe place. You can always return back to your cave. You can always return back to your happy little bubble. But if the energy around you is really, again, it's hospitable for you to like make strides, kind of seize the day, carpe that diem, Scorpio, and take the opportunity while it is present. And I'm also hearing apparent, when it is apparent to you. It's like, wow, it feels like the energy's really picking up. Okay, well then you pick up. You pick up too. Look, and like, I feels like you're arguing with me. You're arguing with me. Because like the turtle spirit just popped out. Slow and steady wins the race, right? But then it's like sweet results await. And there's the idea that you don't have to start running like a crazy person, right? It's not like Pokemon. You don't gotta catch them all, but you gotta make a little. You gotta make a little momentum, right? You got to invest a little bit in this. Look, 7. This I just realized this is 7. 7, 7. It's like as the doors are opening, it will be apparent which one are the right ones for you to walk through, right? And it's the idea of trying to be so discerning, a little bit afraid of, oh, maybe I'll choose the wrong door, maybe I'll choose the wrong person, maybe I'll choose that. You'll know. Trust yourself. You'll know. You're gonna be okay. But you also have to kind of claim, right? Opportunities are opening. Claim your opportunities while you can, and you don't have to overwhelm yourself. Again, remember to kind of go in and recharge your batteries when you need to. But if the energy is kind of moving in a direction, move in that direction too. Don't operate against your own flow, if that makes any sense. Don't operate against your own interests. That makes any sense to you? Oh, the birds are going bananas. I get it. I get it. Bluebird. The bluebirds and eagles. Wow. You are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace. Owl, your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. That's for me. I'm like, is this right? And they're like, yeah, you're right, Lauren. Stop it. All right. That's fine. That's fine. I got so many compliments on my thrift shirt yesterday. Finches are in my backyard too. Eagles flying over. I'm on the flight path. You're in there, girl. You're synced. You're synced up. I love the thrift shop. The thrift shop sometimes gets a bad rap, but it depends what thrift shop you go to. I guess because I live, I'm in Jersey, so I'm surrounded by like the little beach towns. I like grew up in a beach town. I worked in a beach town for a decade. That there's like really, the thrift shops are almost like little boutiques. They're like little cheap boutiques. So there's some good finds in there. Actually, the thrift shop that I got this shirt, I think it was like a month or so ago, I actually got this cross. I got this in because I like, my old cross broke. And I was thinking about it without really thinking about it, and had gone to the metaphysical shop while I was waiting to get lunch with my girlfriend, to get like some incense and some things, you know me. And when I walked out of it, they like pointed me towards this thrift shop, and I was like, huh, she's late, so I'll just kill time. I'll just go in there. And I walked in there, and the first thing that I saw when I put my head down was this little cross. And I was like, I did need a new cross. Jesus, I see you. But I got it, and I took it home, and I put it on. And like the energy around it was kind of weird. And I was like, how is the energy around a cross weird? That doesn't make any sense. I'm like, yeah, but someone else obviously like had their energy attached to it. And then they didn't want their cross anymore. So they gave it to the thrift shop. And that was strange. And then I was like, So I put it down for like maybe like a week or so. And then I kind of like prayed over it. I cleansed the energy, and then I put it on, and now it's great. Now I love it. Which I actually like it a lot better because it's a bigger cross than my other one was like kind of tiny. And when I walk into a room, I want them to be like, Jesus. This girl loves Jesus. Woodpeckers. Oh, that's wonderful. Woodpeckers are really indicative of being able to persevere through like challenging situations. Melissa, where do you live that you have all of these birds? That's what I want to know. You got all these birds. You got woodpeckers. You got finches. You got owls. You got eagles. Where do you live? What are you going on? Sheila. Happy Easter. I almost said happy birthday. Sheila. Dang. I guess it's like, oh, Cancer. I guess all the water signs wanted to go as a whole. I guess it is. I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, Jesus. It's like you have 2 birthdays. And he was like, yeah. Hey, Rob. Happy Easter. Thanks. I was thinking about it. I was like, Jesus, it's like you have 2 birthdays. That's awesome. Because I saw Sheila. I was like, happy birthday. It's like, wait, no, it's happy Easter. But I was like, well, it kind of is Jesus' birthday. He was born again. So, all right. Cool. All right, Cancer. Let's get you a bird card. We're just really being super silly today. Wish I had silly string. That's what we should have called this. We should have called this the silly stream. What are you guys doing for Easter? You getting some Easter eggs? Are you having some ham? Are you doing nothing? Because not everyone celebrates Easter. But it's still a lovely Sunday. I actually put the picture that I put as the thumbnail for the live stream was Jesus and the Easter Bunny on a motorbike, which I thought was really funny because people get like really funny about the Easter Bunny. I was like looking for a funny picture of Jesus and the Easter Bunny, and I saw a picture and it was Jesus trying to punch the Easter Bunny, and it was so offensive. I was like, Jesus was a pacifist. Like, why would Jesus ever punch the Easter Bunny? Like, what? People get really pressed. People get really pressed about the Easter Bunny. Like, as if he's just not like a little guy just like hopping around just trying to like spread some joy. Like, Jesus is all about that. Like, what is going on? People really be like hating on the Easter Bunny, and it is hysterical, but also a little frightening. Just like, let the people have the Easter Bunny. Damn. I know, it's terrible, right? Jesus would never punch the Easter Bunny. Like, never. Like, that is the craziest shit I ever heard in my life. Yeah. And well, because, you know, the Easter Bunny really comes out of, like, more pagan traditions, right? But whatever, Jesus loves everybody. Like, stop being like that, right? It's like, just stop being like that. It's unnecessary. Poor little Easter Bunny. Nobody said Taurus 3 times. Taurus, we have Taurus left. We have 2 more left. We have Gemini and we have Taurus after we get done. Cancer? Did I just pull Cancer? Yeah, I just did. I don't even know where I am anymore. The Meadowlark. Smile. You will soon experience a wonderful journey of inner discovery. Focus. Smile. You will soon discover a wonderful experience of inner discovery. I just heard again. Yes, again. There's a whole universe inside of you. You have to, Ren, be bold and confident. Use all of your resources to create your dreams. Yeah, it's like the idea of, I'm so sick of myself. Like, I'm so sick of going in and doing this work. I get it. And I forget which, I think it was actually the Virgo read that I had just done. And it was them feeling like a little bit bored with themselves. It's, kind of smile. There's all of these new facets of you that are really coming to the forefront to allow you to be bold and confident. It's that energy of, I didn't know I could do that. Like, I didn't know I was good at that sort of thing going on for you this week, which is really nice. But again, there is also this energy of like adaptability that it feels like it's like floating around this week. Like, be a little adaptable. Be a little bit adaptable. There's fear though, because I'm seeing hunger and I'm seeing discernment. Cancer. So it's the idea of like, ooh, like I want to try that. That seems interesting, but what if it doesn't work out? Like, what if I get in trouble? Like, ooh, I really do like that person. Like, oh, I want to do that thing, but I have to use my discernment. It's like the idea of like being too self-disciplined that you're denying yourself like fun and exploration and adventure. Like there is something to that of like not wanting to be like an animal, like give into your animalistic impulses. But that's also putting like a certain amount of shame and judgment like on the body, like on what you want to do and what you're drawn to like as a person. And I keep saying this about not trying to ascend your way out of your humanity. And I came up in the Leo reading this morning, like to be human is to be bad because people are mean and dirty and they make mistakes. And yeah, like relax, like it's okay, like you're supposed to be a person. Otherwise you would have come back as like a frog or something, right? You would have come back as a bird. You'd be a god in spirit. Act as if 33 blossoming. Act as if you're already blossoming. Like that you're allowed to make mud pies this week, Cancer. Like 14. Look, 14. Act as if you already know how to make good choices. Is how it feels like. Oh, if I do that, it's gonna be too much. No, just act as if you already know how to make good choices. That you know right from wrong, that you know what's too much and you know what's too little at the same time. You don't want to make yourself bored. Yeah, don't try and send yourself out of your humanity. I feel like we do that so much that we're always trying to expand our crown and become better psychics and become better this, but then we're still unhappy with like our people life. Right? And it's like you're a person. So the idea is to integrate your higher self and your spiritual knowledge and wisdom and healing into your actual I'm a person life, so that way you can have a greater richness in your experiences, so you can move with greater ease. You don't feel so like imprisoned to things that happened to you in the past. It's supposed to be to expand you. That sometimes the more we try and expand ourselves spiritually, the more constricted we feel as people in our lives. And I think it's not supposed to be that way. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. Hi, Ariel. Your girls are already awake. They open up their Easter baskets. At brunch. Hello. Brunch in Canada with a large egg hunt. Happy Easter. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I like that. I like a brunch. It's never been more important to keep the magic alive. I did good, but so tired. Oh, I used to love my Easter baskets when I was little. Oh my goodness. And then one day you get older and then the baskets just stop. The well runs dry and you're like, oh, that's how I know I'm old now. Yeah, Kenzie, you have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and this is just, it's perceived. It's just perceived. Yeah, with the Emperor in reverse, it's this, like, oppressive, dominating energy that you're having, and it's like, I'm not allowed to do anything. Who's got you on house arrest? Where's your ankle bracelet? Yes, you can. Act as if, and again, I keep talking about being adaptable. Chameleons are able to change their patterning. They're able to change their colors depending on where they are. And I said this in one of the other signs earlier about being able to read the energetic room a little bit as well, right? If you get up and you're like, I'm going to have an adventure, but the energy around you is like, Cancer, just stay home and, like, work on your stuff. Then do that, right? There might be a day that you might wake up and be like, I'm going to get a bunch of work done. But the energy around you is saying, go play, go to brunch, go for a walk, or just go dick off today. Then, like, go do that and know that it's not being paralyzed by every single step that you make, afraid that it's going to have some catastrophic event on your future, right? It's like this analysis paralysis that we got to break ourselves out of, because the 9 of Wands says that it's purely just defensive, right? I'm so afraid of making a mistake, so I'm not going to choose to do anything. But not making a decision is a decision sometimes. That makes any sense? I hope that makes sense to you. 4 of Wands, look, you're preventing yourself from creating new foundations. And I love this 4 of Wands card because it's not like the typical, like, marriage, and it's like Coachella. It's like they're having, this girl's got a tambourine, like, she's having fun. Does she look like she is worried if she's gonna make one wrong step, one mistake? No, she's probably gonna fall, she's gonna get muddy, she's gonna dance, she's gonna laugh, she's gonna cry, she's gonna experience a whole wealth of emotions and experiences. And she's not gonna let the fact that maybe some of those experiences might not last forever or might not pay off in the long run. She's just taking, like, every moment as it comes and not judging herself for it, which I think is really beautiful. So try and do that a little bit. Don't freak yourself out this week, Cancer, because I feel it. You're like, I'm scared to make a move. No, make a move. Make a move. Do something fun. Everyone's feeling really, oh, Taurus, here we go. Everyone's feeling very, like, protective over themselves. And I've been getting this image in my meditations about spring and the rebirth and the new cycle, and people kind of stepping outside of the cave and, like, kind of looking around. It's like everyone's outside the cave and kind of looking around. There's this whole vast area for everyone to go and play and explore and forage and do all this stuff, but everyone's just kind of looking around like, is it safe? Is it safe for me to, like, walk a little further out? And it is. And it is. And it's the idea of, like, don't keep yourself by the cave because you know it's safe in there, right? No, go explore. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. We have to, like, take more ground in the new place, if that makes any sense. So let's see, Taurus. Let's get you a bird card. You need a chocolate bunny? Oh. Go run in the field, yeah. There's this whole, like, inner child thing today. Like, the inner child has to, like, rule out right now. Because the adults within us are so, like, I have to use my discernment. I'm paralyzed. I can't make a decision. What's the cause and effect? What's the karma associated with this? It's like, your inner child's just like, who cares? And it feels like a really, like, kind of reckless and impulsive. But it's not. It's very divinely guided. That came up in Libra's reading that I just did. It was called This Magic Tower Moment, that they were going to be, like, the catalyst in their own life and make some kind of change. And it felt very reckless and impulsive to their more reasonable mind. But in actuality, it was incredibly divinely guided for them to just be like, screw it, I'm going. The element of play. The first bite of the bunny ear. I know, but I always felt bad about eating the bunny. Like, a little bit, because I was like, it's just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. The vulture. Okay, Taurus. Accept the inevitable. Let go of the past and welcome a rebirth to begin. Accept the inevitable. Let go of the past and welcome a rebirth to begin. And the vulture spirit, it talks a lot about pulling like the meat from the bones. Quite disgusting, but literally of situations. It's a little bit of that like scavenger energy that, you know, a vulture only appears after something has completed. It has died. It has kind of past its prime, and it goes in and it picks anything that's useful off of that, and then it allows itself to move on to the next thing. So again, a part of this is changing the perception of what did this situation do for me, as opposed to what did it do to me, if that makes any sense. I feel like I want to get another one for that. I feel safe in my cave, but I feel the energy. Yeah, it's pulling you out. It's gonna keep pulling you out. Pelican, choose to follow the path of forgiveness and raise your vibration. Yeah, because again, the vulture is a little bit of that, you almost want to call it a predator energy, but it doesn't really prey on the things that are alive. It's the idea of kind of continuing to like dig back into those old situations and finding new reasons to be annoyed. Taurus, if that makes any sense, it's like going back to those situations and getting yourself re-annoyed, re-angry about things that have already passed, instead of finding the lesson in it. And it's the idea like you will keep going back to that thing that's triggering you until you realize the point of it, what it did for you, as opposed to what it did to you. And that is the silver lining. And you will keep repeating it until you kind of get that. And part of that is to choose the path of forgiveness and raise your vibration. Because for some of you, you're dealing with situations that you're finding it hard to forgive or move on from. And it's not even the situation or the person. You're having a hard time forgiving yourself from making certain choices at certain periods of time. And you need to release that and not judge yourself for not doing better when you didn't know any better. There are plenty of things in my past that I could look at and be like, oh, you're such a dumbass, Lauren. Like, why'd you do that? I did that because I didn't know better. I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know how things worked. I didn't really know myself. I didn't understand the unconscious motives behind the decisions that I was making. Right? And so if that was anyone else, I'd be like, we all make mistakes. We're all young. We all do stupid shit. Like, it's fine. Just let it go. Like, you'll try again tomorrow. Like, we, you know, live and let live and learn. But I can't do that for myself, right? And it's needing to be able to do that. I've been asking what the other silver lining is from that song. Yeah. That Rilo Kiley song. I think it's Rilo Kiley. Yeah, Silver Linings. I'm your silver lining. I was your silver lining, but now I'm gold. Hey, Steph. How you doing, girl? Hummingbird spirit. Be here now. 34, that breaks down to a 7. That the right path for you right now is to stay in the present. Right? It's pull the lesson that you can and then keep it moving. It's like, don't get yourself stuck in that cycle of God. And this came up in the Leo reading, that by continually going back to the past, thinking you're going to find new information, you're just kind of preventing your own evolution moving forward. That it's like, see it for what it was. And sometimes there's also this energy of making things more complicated than they need to be. Trying to look for this huge, esoteric, spiritual reason. It's like, sometimes we just make mistakes. Some people are just mean and just don't do right by us because they don't realize, right? They're not thinking, or they're sitting in a bad spirit. Like, we make things more complicated, and I think we do it unconsciously as a reason to hold on to situations because, again, vulture spirit, that sometimes we hold on to the hurt, or we hold on to resentment, or we hold on to things from the past as like these sad souvenirs, because if we were actually to release the disappointment, even though it's uncomfortable for us, even if we're torturing ourselves a little bit with it, it's all that we have left of a situation. It's all that we have left of a person. It's all that we have left of a phase in our life. And so if we were to release something that is hurting us still, right? But it means that thing is really gone, and then the vulture has to come in and it has to clean everything up. And so sometimes we do that. And so the best way is to be here now. How are you better today? How are you smarter? How are you stronger? How are you more resilient today because of that situation? Okay, now let's stay in the present, and let's keep building on what we know and what we have. Bye, Rob. Thank you. Have a good Easter. Enjoy your BBQ. Dove spirit, be peace. Be at peace, Taurus. 21 breaks down to a 3. 343. That might be an angel number for you. or a scripture number. And this is what's wanting to come in, but it's like fighting your own peace. You might be in a position, look at this, 3-4-3, 4-3. Look at that. Wow. Look at that, Taurus. It's the idea, you've had to fight so many battles that, like warfare and having to be strong and persevere and all that stuff. It's become like your new normal. So anything that feels like peace feels like it's like a trick. It's almost like when there's, how some people self-sabotage in the sense that when there's nothing chaotic or painful or tumultuous going on, they will either create narratives in their head or create situations externally to themselves to create some kind of upheaval because they know how to operate under that, that veil of stress, that veil of like adrenaline, than being at peace. Than having nothing going on at all, if that makes any sense. Because you have the unexpected, like these ladies, they're not running around, they're not doing anything, they're literally just standing there at a place of peace, just like admiring like the stillness, the solitude. And in that, there's like an alchemization in that allows like a portal to open, allows something new to come in. 3-4-3, 4-3. 4-3, 4-3, 4-3. It's almost like coding. There's something about your code. It's like how they say trauma can incorporate itself into the DNA, and that's how generational trauma occurs. It's because it actually works its way into the DNA for like a few generations. There's something about that maybe you come from a family that there's always something going on. There's always a problem. There's always a fight. So that's just what you're used to. That is normal for you. So peace, forgiveness, kind of no news is good news. You don't understand what that means because you've never really lived that, and kind of breaking off some of that generational trauma, kind of rewiring some of that DNA in a certain kind of aspect by allowing peace and flow and harmony to become that new normal for you, Taurus, right? I haven't eaten breakfast yet, but all this talk of chocolate might be me going to grab a chocolate bar. I went to make breakfast this morning, but then I started to not feel great. So then I nixed my breakfast. But now I'm kind of hungry and I wish I didn't nix my breakfast. But I also washed my jeans. So I was like, my stomach hurts and I need to fit into these jeans. So I'm going to skip breakfast. Mirroring numbers. Yes, it's been coming up a lot. I've been seeing... We have one left. Gemini. I've been seeing a lot of ones, like 111s. Seeing a lot of like 8s, a lot of 9s, a lot of 4s, a lot of like 4, 4, 4, 4. Let me see what's going on here. Sorry. I was having a moment to myself. I was checking my text messages on my computer. 808. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of 8s. 1-8, 8-1, 8-8s, which is good. That's like a really high vibrational, like provision kind of number. Yeah, a lot of 4s. Lots of 4s. But 4s are a foundational number. So, and 44 for me speaks a lot about empowerment. So, oh, birdies. So really like empowering us to look forward to new foundations, new normals. There's the idea of us getting, again, kind of coming back to our humanity, having a new sense of normal, coming back to being like normal people, doing normal things, even if we live as very spiritual, like celestial beings and souls, to really come back to having like a normal experience in life. Like normal opportunities, normal relationships, like, but living normal in a higher vibration than we did previously. Not to be running around like floating on a cloud necessarily, right? But coming back to being normal people, living normal lives, doing normal things, without having to sacrifice the magic, but not being so in the celestial that we forget how to be people and have normal, that there's a new normal being established. Which I think there's been a lot of like timeline jumps and a lot of like Mandela effects kind of things happening, right? Because we go through these spiritual processes so many times for so long that we don't feel like normal anymore, and then we don't know how to be people. Do you ever like have to go to like a store and you're like, I don't even know how to be around people anymore, and like that's not the way it's supposed to be, right? It's like I don't know how to have like a normal conversation or how to have like normal relationships or just do normal shit because it all feels like weird now because I'm ascended. But it's the idea of being able to keep that knowledge, that wisdom, that spiritual expansion, have the healing and all of the good stuff that comes with it, but also be able to have like normal lives at the same time. And I think it might be easier for people that maybe are like married and they have kids and there's very practical kind of things going on for them. But I know for me, I'm single, I don't have kids, my work, I'm professional oracle, you know what I mean? Like my work is spiritual, my life is spiritual. So for me, that's something that I've been trying to learn how to do, is like how to be normal and stay in my vibration, maintain all of my wisdom, but also be like a normal person. And I can go to a store, or I could go to a restaurant, or I could do stuff and not have to worry about all the spiritual implications of, right? Because we do that. Turkey, Gemini, the power to heal the earth is within you. Ariel, that just made me think of you. The power to heal the earth is within you. And turkeys talk a lot about Thanksgiving, right? So being grateful, being appreciative of and the earth is coming through as more of like the environment, like the power, Gemini, to heal your environment, to be a catalyst in more harmony and love and flow in your home life, in your personal life, is really like in your hands, and to be very appreciative, to be more of a co-creator, that you contribute to the things that happen and things aren't just constantly happening to you. You also have the cardinal out, which is an incredibly protective bird. It's also a very loyal bird. They tend to mate for life. Stand tall and proud. See the leadership role unfolding ahead of you, right? That you are the catalyst in creating more harmony in your relationships, in your home life, at work, in all of these environments for you. That's really nice. It's really, really nice. Hey, Palmer. How you doing, girl? What did I just say? Co-create. Crow spirit. 17. Co-create with spirit. 17, that breaks down to an 8. Look at you, Gemini. Okay, I see you. I see you. It's almost like I see Gemini this week going into situations and kind of in their mind, like going to the divine, going to spirit and be like, how do I help this situation? Like, I'm obviously here for a reason. Like, how do I help this situation? How do I heal this division? That kind of thing. Look at this, 27, Fox Spirit. Think on your feet. Again, it feels very, like, instantaneous. Like, you walk into a room, the energy is where it's like, how do I fix this? How do I heal this? How do I mend this? Right? And then being grateful for the advice and the guidance that you're given to be able to do that, and then see it effectively actualized, like, immediately. Right? I remember when I was a bartender going into the bar and people would be like, I don't want to be here, or blah, blah, like, just janky ass energy, and then going, well, what do I do? Like, do I be really calming? Do I be really soothing right now? Do I tell everyone's going to be okay? Or do I kind of pump up the jams and be like, hey guys, like, look at me, and kind of make like a little bit of a fool of myself and like throw on Stevie Wonder and be like, sun sealed, delivered, I'm yours, and then see everyone start giggling at me and like the vibration raises and everyone's having a better time, and then being grateful that like, oh, I'm glad I listened to that because now everyone's in a better mood and it's actually helping me because now I don't have to deal with everyone's attitude problem all day. It's like that kind of thing, and that's a think on your feet, instantaneous kind of thing with Whale Spirit. Trust in the great mystery. Trust in the great mystery. There's something that you could feel a little bit like anxiety, like I don't know what I'm walking into, like I never know what I'm walking into, right? Whether it's a store, whether it's a job, whether it's a date, whether it's like whatever it is, and being able to trust that instantaneously you can find a solution to a thing, that you can figure out what to do, figure out the right thing to say, that you're clever. There's something about you're clever, Gemini. Lean into you being very clever this week. You had ravens in your backyard all week. Wow. A crow just went across my... Melissa, you must live in like a bird sanctuary. I'm convinced. You must live in a bird sanctuary. I'm absolutely positively convinced of that. Power. Look at you, Gemini. They're playing me that Chica song. My word is my power, power. My word is my word is my... And this is also coming very balanced. It's very Geminian, right? With like the two... It's almost like these two scales, like the light and the dark. Harnessing some of this like solar energy, but also harnessing some of this lunar energy. There's something feels very balanced about your masculine and your feminine energies this week. Being able to receive it and then immediately output it. Receive it and then immediately output it. It's very also like in service. It's also very in service. Geminis are very witty. I love Geminis so much. I just gotta, hold on. No? What's that? I got a funny comment, and I was like, wait, what is that? All right, so I think that's it. Yeah, we got them all done. How fun. So we did them in like a random order today. So if anyone is interested or able to timestamp it later on for all the bees who might catch it later tonight on the replay, we would very much appreciate you. If not, then they can bop around. That's fine. We love a bopper. We love a bee bopper. It's like that game. You ever play that game when you were little? Bop it? And it's like bop it, hit it, twist it, pull it. My inner child's really just like doing the most today. It really is. Oh, you live in wine country. Hour from the beach, desert, and mountains. That's awesome. I was talking to someone, I think last week. I was on like a nature walk, and I was talking about Jersey, how I always say I want to like move out of New Jersey, but then there are moments when I really actually love New Jersey because Jersey has everything. If you want to, we have beaches, we have like urban cities, right? You go to Atlantic City, you go to Jersey City. We have mountains and we have hills and we have lakes and we have rivers and you know, we have summer and we have spring and we have fall and we have winter, that you could have a 102-degree day and you could also have 6 feet of snow, that it's like you bop it. Yeah, right. That there is something really nice about New Jersey, that you can have land and you can have the sea and you can have the mountains and you can like really experience like everything independent. We have like South Jersey is like real like southern bumpkin, you know what I mean? Like there's a town not too far from my house where I do a lot of my nature hikes, and they have like a lot of farms, right? And then there's like I said, like Jersey City, Atlantic City, like these really like industrialized like cities, and then there's like these little beach towns and these little like nooks and crannies. Like Jersey really has everything. The only problem with Jersey is that it's so expensive. It's such an expensive state to live in. You're at the top of a hill. That's so cool. My Gemini son has a new girlfriend in his little emperor mode. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so cute, Bomber. My kids had that game. Bop it, pull it, twist it. It makes you want to get a bop it. It makes you want to get Twister, Battleship, or Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That was a great game. That's a really good way to work out your aggression as a kid. Little Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It's expensive. Yeah, it's crazy. I always say I want to move south because it seems a lot cheaper in the south, but it gets so hot, and I get like a little screwy when it gets too hot out. I get like some kind of wires crossing my brain when it gets too hot, and I fizzle out. I really do. That's the only problem. Hungry hippos. Oh, hungry hippos. Uno. You'd be like, psh, reverse. I've seen people making fun of like tarot videos, and they're like on TikTok, and they're like, if this message is on your For You page, it's definitely for you. And you're like, oh, this person's real serious, and they just pull up like 3 Uno cards, and it's the funniest thing in the world to me. It really is. I know, but maybe I just need to adjust to the heat. I also really like the idea of like Washington State. I like rainy days. I could do with that, and they have a lot of forests. The only place I probably could move, I can't really do Florida. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in Florida. You need a roommate. You're in Hawaii. Yes, you are, girl. I have too much Scandinavian in my blood. I can't do the heat. That's so funny, Sheila. That is so funny. I really like almost like gloomy, rainy days and like the forest, but I'm very Irish. I'm very Irish. I'm very Scottish. I'm very Welsh, which is very like soggy, mossy kind of roots. Yosemite, that's so cool. Western Washington is like that, but not Eastern. I'm in Texas, super oppressive heat. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of downloads about Texas, but it's so hot. I love Louisiana, though. Louisiana's my favorite. Louisiana's my favorite. Even though it's so hot, I love Louisiana so much, I would still probably move to the bayou. I love the rain. I love the rain so much. I don't know why. You give me like a thunder and lightning storm all day. Woo! Child. I short circuit in hot weather. I do. I'm totally not built to suit our Irish climate. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I love the rain. I love like moss. I love like the forest. Like I think it's like the Scottish, the Welsh, all the Irish in me. But I keep trying to go towards like sunny, hot places that are gonna frustrate me. But I don't know. Maybe I need more sunlight. I need more like vitamin D in my life. Maybe. Louisiana is really humid. It is very humid. But and most of it's swampland, so that's kind of. Stephanie, you posted. I have a question because you posted a comment on one of the old collective coffees, and you just said no, and I don't know what that means, and it confused me. I was like, it just you commented no, and I was like, oh, what is that? Is she mad? Is she mad at me? It might have been the stream that got cut off. I'd like to get more sun though. Yeah, the sun's important. That's why people get seasonal depression. Oh, that you were not blurry. Oh, thank you. I was like, oh my god, I offended her. I offended her. Share the Texas downloads. I don't know. You know, a lot of times they give me states, and I won't know what that means. So I was getting Texas for like 2 weeks, and I didn't understand what that meant. But then that big snowstorm hit Texas, and then all the funny stuff about the snowstorm hit Texas. But then there were a couple people from Texas that I ended up connecting with to do like a bit of like spiritual exploration and energy work. So sometimes they'll give me places because there's some kind of like weather going on, or a natural disaster, or something kind of like the weird things like that will happen. They'll almost let me know that something chaotic or some kind of bless me, some kind of upheaval or some kind of weather or something's going to happen in a particular area. But sometimes it's because there's like certain people that are from there, and they're letting me know that when that person comes forward and they're like, hey, I'm from Kentucky, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you are who I was waiting for. It's like that kind of confirms to me that that's the person I need to be dealing with. Or it'll be like Texas, and I'll be like, huh? And it'll be like huge snowstorm, and it's like that kind of thing. I often don't understand the downloads I get until kind of after the fact, just like you guys. Ooh, we could use rain for power and all of our water for drinking, showering. So much rain. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, good. I was like, I love you too. I was like, oh no, if I didn't offend stuff. I'm total Northern Isles mutt, living in the PNW. I have moss and rust in my blood. Ah, I love that. It's funny because I've born and raised Jersey girl my whole life, and so you'd think I'd be like a little beach bunny, but alas, I like the woods. Maybe because I like got spoiled with the beach growing up. I lived like a block from the beach my whole life. That it just doesn't do it for me in quite the way that like the woods do. And I do like the beach, but I like the beach from like 8 o'clock in the morning until like 11:30 in the morning. Like when everyone's coming onto the beach, that's when I want to be getting off of the beach because it gets too hot and it gets too loud, and I just want to sit there and I want to read my book in silence, listen to the waves. And then once everyone starts coming onto the beach, I leave the beach and then I go and I get lunch. I get lunchtime margaritas, and that is my beach schedule. Oh, did it? Yeah, the stuff that was wild in Texas. There's a whole bunch of stuff. The snow wouldn't melt. There is a lot of weird stuff. Oh, bless you. Thank you, guys. Summer is miserable and winter is your jam. That's interesting. That is different. Because most people, the lack of like vitamin D in the winter, it gives them like seasonal depression. Really nice beaches here. I always find a beach far away from the town. Yeah. I drive out of my way to go back to the beach that I grew up in. Because I don't know if you know Jersey at all. I grew up in a town called Bradley Beach. Which is like a little tiny, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's like 2 miles, 3 miles at most. It's like the littlest kind of thing. It was one of those like towns that you could like walk around all day and all night, like till the street lights came on and no one bothered you, and little shops and just like little stuff like that. And it was the early 90s, so I was just allowed to like roam around and it didn't matter, you know. We didn't have cell phones. It was just like, see you later. And it was great. I loved it. And they had like a big gazebo, and they still do. And on like Friday nights, they'd like get like a band or like a DJ, and they'd play music, and all the kids from the town would come over, and we'd like dance and eat hamburgers off like the food truck and all that stuff. And it was so fun. And I remember it was when Pokemon was still really popular, and they had like the Pokemon eggs. Do you remember the Pokemon eggs? And you used to like stick them in water, and they'd like dissolve, and there'd be like a little Pokemon in them. Oh yeah. Or we'd get like all of our Pokemon cards, and we'd trade them. And back then, it's like I used to have like a big binder with like the plastic sleeves in it with all, you put all your Pokemon cards in it, you'd keep the extras in the back, and you'd go and you'd start trading them. And then like behind you at the gazebo would be like, boom, 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 I want you in my room. And I'd be like, you want a Charizard? Spend the night together. But how about a, you know, just like, it was great. It was so fun. It sounds so perfect. It was perfect. It was super great. And we had this big library. And I was like that little kid from, what's the movie? Matilda. I was like Matilda. And the children's section of the library was in the basement, and I'd go in there and I'd read all the books, and nobody would put them back where they're supposed to be. And that would really irritate me, because in my Vedic chart, I'm a rising Virgo. I'm a rising Libra, but in my Vedic chart, I'm a rising Virgo. So like, I like things in their place. It's like OCD thing. It's a control thing. That's what it is. It's how I soothe myself. And so I'd put all the books back, and I'd read all the books, and I'd read to the little kids. And eventually I went upstairs and I like demanded a grown-up library card. And I had to fight for it, but I got my grown-up library card. It was so great. Big library. They have like a big elementary school that looks like it's like from a movie. It's just like, it's great. It's super awesome. Oh my God, not filing books correctly. Back when we still used the Dewey Decimal System. Rest in peace, Dewey. Hello books, me too. Oh, I used to have so many books. And I was really into like Charmed at that time too, and they had like the big book of spells in that show. So I'd go into the library and I'd pull out like the big huge dictionary of the thesaurus, and I'd flip through it, and I'd pretend like it was like the big book of spells, and I'd be like, such a nerd, such a nerd. You must rewind to be kind. Yeah, when you got to go to Blockbuster, woo, you knew it was gonna be a good day. Walk up and down all the aisles trying to find the right movie. And then we'd always get all the late charges because we'd never return the movies back in time. Oh, Blockbuster. On Netflix, they actually have that documentary about the last Blockbuster that's like in existence. And I think it's in Oregon. It's in Oregon because it came up in that one Aries reading that I did a couple weeks ago, the Snake River one that like blew up out of nowhere. And I was like, whoa. The last Blockbuster is really good. It's actually a really good documentary. They have these comedians in it. Steven! No way we played Venga Boys in the office last week. Oh, the music. The music from my childhood is so good. Let you steal my sunshine. It's just so good. Just so good. I think it's normal to romanticize the music and the TV and everything from when you were a kid. Oh, thank you. That Snake River video like threw me for a loop. I felt like Nancy Drew. I had like Blue's Clues. I had like my whole notebook, and I pulled like 3 cards that whole reading. I'm so proud of you that you're an East Coast girl. You can say Oregon correctly. Sometimes, most of the time. Sometimes you'll throw a little I in there just to spice it up a little bit. Just to spice it up. Just not libraries right now. There's something that... It also reminds me of like Barnes and Nobles and like Borders. Remember Borders, the bookstore? When I was a kid, Barnes and Noble was actually set up in such a way that you could pick out the books and actually sit there and read them. Like they had couches everywhere. If you go to Barnes and Noble now, they have like 2 benches by the magazine section. Or if there's a Starbucks in there, they'll have some tables. But they used to have like big couches and like lounge chairs like this, like set up all over Barnes and Nobles and all over Borders. You'd actually be able to like grab books and sit there and like read them and flip through them and like really kind of sit and marinate in them for a little bit before you decided to buy them. They don't do that anymore. Even before COVID, they don't do that anymore. They just have like one lonely little bench in the magazine section, or they'll have tables inside the Starbucks if there's a Starbucks in the Barnes & Noble. But they don't do that anymore. It sucks. You gotta like walk around and stand there and flip through and decide immediately if you want to buy this $40 book. I don't want to do that. I want to sit. I want to marinate in it for a minute. Oh, your last Barnes & Noble just shut down. Oh, missed the chairs. It was so good. It was so good. VHS and cassette tapes. I still have Blue's Clues. I miss cassette tapes. I was still around for cassette tapes. I used to stick them in my boom box, and I'd sit on the radio station, and I'd wait for them to play my songs, and then I'd record them, and then I'd flip it over. And there was always Mariah Carey songs. I was always waiting for Heartbreaker. Heartbreaker, you got the best of me, and I just keep coming back incessantly. Oh, why? Like the shop around the corner. You got mail. Oh, you got mail. And you'd have to buy the AOL minutes on the CD. Do you remember that? It'd be like 90 minutes like on the AOL CD, and you have to put it in and download it in. That's crazy. Could you imagine that now? Dude, you were probably having trouble with people staying all day. Probably. They probably were. People loitering in the Barnes & Noble. When I was in high school, that used to be like a good date spot. We'd go and we'd get coffee and we'd walk around the Barnes & Noble. Or when the Harry Potter books were still coming out. And they used to have those big events at Barnes & Noble for Harry Potter. And then everyone would show up in robes with wands. And it'd be like the big release party for Harry Potter. And they'd have people dressed up in costumes. And they'd have like butterbeer, and they'd have like all the jelly beans and all the weird little flavors, and oh, it was so much fun. I remember sitting outside like in line with my mom in like the rain and being like, the Half-Blood Prince is coming out, like just so excited. And they'd always have it so late. It'd always be like at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'd be like trying to keep my eyes open, and I'd get in there and I'd be like, oh, such a Harry Potter nerd. I'm binge watching Harry Potter right now. I mean, not in this exact moment, but right now. It was amazing. Midnight. Yeah, it was crazy at midnight. American Idol. Gen Z's head would explode if they had to download AOL minutes. Put on their away message. BRB. Good times. Good times. My oldest son was excited for Harry Potter, read all the books, had the movies too. Oh yeah, I have all the Harry Potter books. I was on MuggleNet for the longest time. And they had that section in it called MuggleNet Interactive. Do you remember? Were you ever on MuggleNet Interactive? It was literally like a whole world of Harry Potter. You could take classes, like the typical Harry Potter classes. You could take like divination, and you could take herbology, and you could take like transfiguration, and they had all these chat boards, and you got sorted into a house, and they had prefixes, and they had like all of the things, and it was so exciting for me. Like I spent hours and hours and hours on MuggleNet Interactive, just like doing all kinds of things. And they had Quidditch, and they had like it's like I don't even know how they had the technology to do it at the time, but they did it. It's absolutely amazing. And at one point in time, and this may or may not be the nerdiest thing about me, but technically my first job ever, I was a teacher on MuggleNet Interactive, even though I was super young. I was only like 12 or 13, and I had somehow created such a name for myself on the Harry Potter website that I got to teach herbology for like a semester. For like a summer, I taught herbology. So people would literally send me papers on like gillyweed and stuff, and it was so fun. I loved it. It was so fun for me. You can tell, like, see, I'm like cheek to cheek. I'm like, it was so much fun. Oh, it was the best. It was the absolute best. It's a snapshot of happiness in my mind. 100%. Oh, all right. I think we're gonna go now because I feel like they're tapping on the walls and they're telling me to get off. So I'm gonna do that because we've been chitting and we've been chatting for a long time. But I love you guys. I hope you guys have the best Easter. Thank you for popping in and watching all of the signs. If you stayed after for our nerdy little chit chat, I very much appreciate you for that as well. Leo, your reading is out. Pisces, your reading comes out in a little bit, and Aquarius, your reading comes out tomorrow morning. Your reading comes out tomorrow morning. If anyone is willing to scroll back through this and timestamp it for the rest of you guys who are going to watch it on the replay, we very much appreciate you. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I hope you have a wonderful Easter. And I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye.